Wait,
All
where the
right.
what?
Okay, we should
They've
be
got
Where
merch.
live
got merch?
now.
All I got is the T-shirt that David spilled a gin and tonic on.
All right, welcome everyone to the 45D weekly live stream. And this week's live stream is about the 45 degrees Sharpen Up Flotilla. So we ran a Sharpen Up Flotilla last year in October. We had a bunch of people and boats on that, and we had an absolute blast. And I've got them here today. So I'm going to bring them on in a moment, but we're going to talk about that flotilla. I'm going to try and let them do as much of the talking as possible. And by all means, as always, please ask questions, throw them down, and we'll put them all up. So without that, I'm going to run the cutscene. Okay, welcome back. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring everyone on, and you can all see what we're talking about here. There we go. Okay, I've got our four guests. Well, three guests. Sorry, there's four of them, but one of them's in a three-guest window, which I didn't notice when I set that up. So there we go. Fixed it. Okay. So look, welcome, Michael. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Nick.
You are most welcome. And underneath Michael, we've got David. How are you, David?
I'm good, Nick. Enjoying the weather as you are.
That's the one. David and I are still in Croatia, you see, so we're really enjoying life.
Still, I haven't left.
Well, I mean, it's still to everyone else because they saw us in Croatia, and now we're still in Croatia. I know that's what they say to me anyway. And down the bottom there, and I love this. I absolutely love this so much that I'm going to put them in solo to say hello because they're wearing 45D merch. Look at that. This is Meredith and Jacob. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
And where are you guys calling in from?
We're calling in from Interlaken, Switzerland.
Interlaken, Switzerland. Excellent. All right. Yeah. So this is everyone here. Now we're here to talk about the flotilla today. Number one on a scale of noisy to not very noisy. Can you just tell me, did you enjoy the flotilla all at once?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. That's good. I was hoping for some sort of energy there. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm not sure how much these guys can see, but I've got a few clips to roll of the flotilla and different things. So I'm going to run just a short clip of our flotilla and how it looked, maybe 30 or 40 seconds to watch to fill anyone else in that has not seen it. So here that comes now. All right, so I had to put them up just at the last minute there to see if they were actually watching and if they were smiling about it. I did see some smiles, so that was cool. All right, so that was our 45 degree sailing first Sharpen Up flotilla that we've run. We ran it and we had 3 boats, and Blair might phone in a little bit later on, we'll see. But all of a sudden, all my guests just disappeared from my view, and I'm not sure why. So I'm going to stall and see if they dial back in. That was very, very strange. Okay, because this whole thing is designed around them, and all of a sudden they just disappeared. So let's see if they dial back in. I'm going to send some messages, and I'm not sure what's going on. Stand by, please, everyone. Gosh, what's going on? Good to see Anna's here watching. She's there. Love the merch, guys. That's very cool. Can you guys click the link again? Thank you very much. I've got the team now trying to sort out people that have possibly been disconnected and all that. We will figure that one out. No. Yeah, okay, we're still live. I was just checking that wasn't another issue that I failed on last time, where it cut the live stream off. Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst. So, there we go. They're all dialing back in right now. Okay, here's Michael. Here's David. Here's Meredith and Jacob. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you. Isn't technology fun?
Did we say something wrong?
I enjoyed your entrance so much the first time that I just like, right, we need to bring these guys back in.
We got censored.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
and I've got Anna's comment there. She said, love the merch, guys. So, very, very, very cool. All right. So that really freaked me out. I was like, this is all built around you guys. All right. So let's get me to stop talking a little bit. I've got my questions and things that I've got up here. So what I would love to discuss today with you guys and have you guys tell everyone about is a little bit about yourselves, where you're from and your sailing experience background, and how you learnt about the flotilla, the Sharpen Up Flotilla, and what did you want to achieve by joining it. So if I can start at the top of the list there and get Michael. Oh my gosh, Karen's here. Hang on a second. Hey. Hold the phone, Michael. Hold the phone.
I sent her the link. Did she show up?
She's here. I've just got to assign her as a guest. Everything's happening. Guest 4. Here's Karen. Welcome. Now it's a party. Karen, how are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you. I am at work, so I'm going to have to just try to do what I can.
No worries. All right, well, Michael, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask Karen to go first, just in case she has to take off. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Oh, she's gone. While Karen comes back to her seat, if anyone's, whoever's watching, please, like normal, interact with us. Tell us where you're from and why you're here, and maybe you're interested in the flotilla. And for any of these guys, throw the questions out there. So, Karen, if you could just let us know roughly where you're from, your sailing experience and background, and how you learned about the flotilla, and then what you wanted to achieve by joining it.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Utah, but I live in Oregon, and my boyfriend is heavily involved in sailing, and the opportunity arose because of him, knowing David Llewellyn and you. So we headed out there to check it out. I think Michael had more expectations out of it than I did. I was just kind of along for the ride, but it just blew my mind. Everything about it did. I was so impressed with everyone's skills and how it was fun watching everybody get taught how to do these things that they were intimidated by, and watching them evolve into feeling very comfortable with it. And it made me feel a little bit more like, I could probably do this too. I don't have to just be here with my drink saying hey to everyone. So it was beautiful too. The scenery was breathtaking and beyond all my expectations.
Excellent. No, that's really cool to hear. And I think that is a large part of the flotilla, is that you have groups that you've got people that want to sail more or are very interested in learning. And then you've got others that, they're like, oh, well, it's a learning one. I don't really go along. But the whole idea is that you can bring anyone along as long as you've got enough people to do the crewing part of the boat or solo, as David might be doing coming up. But yeah, no, that's really cool. Thank you, Karen. Michael, do you want to hit that up as well?
Hey, you bet. First off, hey, baby. Good to see you on camera. I haven't seen her yet. She's been at work in Utah for the last couple of weeks, so got to see
Oh, and by the way, I have to do a shout out here. Happy birthday, Michael.
Babe.
Oh, that was brilliant. I was saving that for a little bit long because Michael's, can I say it, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael's 45 today, and he's on 45 Degrees Weekly with 45 Degrees Sailing. So, hey, I love that. Hang on, I've got a button for this. Jacob, I knew you'd love that. All right, so Michael, take it away.
You bet. So, Michael Tiemann, I'm from Eugene, Oregon, where I'm currently at, watching it spit snow outside. We talked about my jealousy with regards to your location. I love that you're drinking Red Bull because I love that you showed the Red Bull passing sequence from boat to boat while we're in Croatia. That was a jolly good time.
Wow, I mean, if you want to talk about that one, I was a bit slow on that because I was drinking the Red Bull. What was that all about?
Nothing to see here.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, carry on.
Definitely never happened. So I've been sailing for about 14 years now. I got a wild hair watching the Volvo Ocean Race for the first time in my life a long time ago. And I thought that looked like fun. So I bought a boat and here I am. Now it's kind of a lifestyle choice. I got with your crew and your team from David Llewellyn, who I met in Antigua Race Week in 2015, I believe. We sailed the Volvo Open 60 together down in the Caribbean, which was awesome. It was a 12-man boat with a 6-man crew and took third place, which was pretty dope. And we did so well. David and I got invited back on one of the crew members' boats, Neil Styler, on his, it was an Oyster 49. Came back, raced in a bigger fleet, and then took a second. So now David and I have to go back and get first place. We need that, finish that podium round out.
Yes.
So, your skills
We'll
teaching.
have to arrange that on the itinerary.
Right. It's next up. So David and I talking for quite a few years, and he made this lovely trip to Croatia and said, "Hey, come out and see the palm trees on the shore side." And oh, by the way, I bought this boat. So I said, what a great idea. I would love to do that. Karen, would you like to go? She would love to do that. What a coincidence. So we all headed out to Croatia, and he says, oh, by the way, we're doing this training thing with this guy, Nick. Nick who? Looked up some of your videos. Very impressed. I head up Facebook Yacht Club, which is, I think, the second or third largest social media page in the world.
Yep.
Good fun, good action, good people there. So well networked, learn a lot of things from a lot of different people. And I would say boat handling skills is one of the most argued about and one of the most fun and important topics in anything you do. Having been to on blue water quite a bit now, you see a variety of skills, and boat handling is really where it separates people's abilities on the water. They might be able to communicate well, but if they're not handling the boat well, you can always tell. Watching David ramp up incredibly just by handling his own boat single-handed it blew me away, because I do small boat work up to 24 feet, some 36 footers, but watching David work that 45-foot boat and then talking you up as a means to learn that skill was really awesome. And then he showed me things that he learned through you, docking procedure on the Riviera, the way you guys back in like that. I still couldn't get that right after how many times? But just a lot of the sequences you learn, and then I'm still wrapping around my head why you use the 0800 method to tie it versus like a halyard lock or a C turn with an 8. And I poked around some questions to some other sailors, and they're like, I don't know why.
Ooh, danger.
I appreciate it. It makes sense in some ways, but not in others. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate everything that I learned from you and that I learned from David. And I think you got a really positive thing going on. As you know, I'd like to hire you in the future to learn some of my own boat handling skills when I get my 40-footer plus and start heading out to the world.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that intro. That's brilliant. There's a number of different ways you can do things, and I think one of the things I try and stress is that there's no one way. There's no one way that has to be done, as much as the our way I think there is. there's no one way to do it, and especially when you look at going from monohulls to catamarans with that 0800. Pretty much about every catamaran sailor I know will do hitches, so it's and myself the same with these big thick lines on catamarans. So we also had a woohoo from Mahina for the happy birthday, and a happy birthday from Quill. So thank you very much, guys, for chiming in.
Thank you all.
All right, David, do you wanna fill us in?
Yeah, so I'll follow on from that. So I've been sailing, allegedly, for about 10 years. I went out on a friend's boat in the UK, around Weymouth, and ended up helming it in as we surfed into Weymouth down the actual Portland bill there, which just got me hooked because it was magical. Didn't do a lot after that, and then eventually got to do my RYA skipper exam. I think it was 2015. And then, as Mike said, we raced in the Caribbean. So I had really no experience going racing on a 60-footer, very short crew. But we had a blast. And as Mike said, we came third. He did mention we did actually win one race. And which was, by sheer non-sailing skills, it was just that the other two boats in front of us went the wrong way.
That's still winning. It doesn't matter.
It was all skill, baby.
It's a hell of an argument we had on the boat, because I was doing the navigation. I say, no, we turn here, we go back. And everyone else, but they're going ahead of us. And I said, well, they're wrong. It was a hell of an argument. Anyway, we had a good run after that as well. So that was one of the things about winning. And then again, sort of on hold. And I, we were talking before, so live now actually in Croatia, currently in Zagreb. Boats on the coast, so I'll be there end of next week, and then that's the start of the season for me. So looking forward to that.
Well, as it goes, I think like Quill's here as well. He's online. He didn't come on the flotilla, but he's here, and I think we're all planning on catching up on the water end of next week sometime, aren't we?
I think it's the week after. He said he's going to be in Split, so hopefully we can talk now. If not on water, in something a bar, like that. Because it's going to be that way anyway.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, I'm out here, and then I stopped working 18 months ago, and decided it was the time to buy a yacht and live that dream. So
Jacob was waiting for me to press the applause then. I should have actually.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I won't pause and wait for you to do your bit. You can applaud when I come to you. So, but I was then buying a boat beginning of last year, and I too, like with Michael, started seeing your videos, came across them, liked your style in a sort of pragmatic way of sailing rather than just doing qualifications. And I know we had a call as part of the Yacht Consult, and that was a great advantage in terms of just the second opinion in terms of types of boat, size of boat. Because I think initially I was thinking 35 because that's what everyone says, and exactly. And I looked at 35 and thought, God, this is small. But then did we, the idiot who goes out and buys too big a boat and then, kills himself. Yeah, of course. So that support in terms of, no, that's right, go for 45, absolutely right. And now I'd probably be happy going 50 or 55.
This is it. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, the most common thing is people saying, I don't think I can handle it. And I think I said to you, look, inside of 2 weeks, it's going to feel like a 35-footer.
Yeah. And it is easy. And it is set up for that, which was, one of the things we went through, which is great. So it's very easy to single hand from the cockpit. Rather than having a lot of running around to do. You helped me throughout that process. It was the only one boat we saw because pretty well wasn't much on the list. We only had about 6 or so. And
it was just the right one.
It was here, and it's still in its same dock. It's in its same berth in Castella, so she's perfect. So that was great. And then we had, I got work done on it, and then we splashed it. What is it? End of June last year. And then I think I had the wake-up call, and you probably had the wake-up call, which was, this guy doesn't really know how to sail.
It wasn't like that.
Totally to me. God, it's such a steep learning curve. But yeah, working through that last year, and then I spent, 3-4 months sailing. So we had a week or two working together in terms of being able to do that. And then I went away and practiced it and sailed and, learned on my own. So, and and that has been a great thing to build that confidence. So looking forward to this year, and then it was natural to come on the flotilla, and the fact that Mike could come and join me, and then he said, "Oh, is it okay if I bring my girlfriend with me? She won't get in the way. It'll be all right. She gets on with people."
Oh,
and he was
great
like,
to
"Yeah,
have
it'll
along.
be fine." And she was awesome. I mean, Karen's constantly sells herself down on the basis, "Oh, I can't do this and the other," but she was mucking in and joining in with all of it. So it was a blast for a week. So it was really good fun, and meeting the other guys as well.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
a great way of just meeting people, learning, and having fun.
Excellent. All right. No, thank you for that, and that's really good to hear. And Quill says, what do we got there? Quill says, for sure, I'm going to catch up in the next little couple of weeks. So, very, very cool. All right, Meredith, Jacob, you guys want to riff?
Sure. I guess I can go first.
Yeah.
I'm Meredith, and I am originally from the U.S. I grew up in Indiana, did a stint of my life in Seattle, so I guess that feels like home, except that I've been in Europe now for 5 years, and the first 2 years I kind of bounced back and forth between living in Croatia, which is where I met Nick and Mahina, and I lived in Switzerland as well, and then some other places in the Balkans. Finally, settling here in Switzerland with my husband, Jacob. And I have to say, prior to living in Split and running around with Nick and Mahina, I didn't really have any sailing experience. And I would say it's because of you two that I became pretty hooked on it. So it really makes sense that I live in a landlocked country, right? No, but Jacob and I try to make a point to go sailing at least once a year with you two, and it's really one of the joys of our lives. So,
speaking of which, we haven't planned that for this year. What's going on?
Oh, but we will.
Okay, cool.
That is the goal.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But I will say, the flotilla really helped me kind of refresh on some of the skills that I had learned. For sure, some recurrency training. I am not licensed, so please don't hire me as a skipper for your boat. Yeah. But I do feel like I am a decent, competent crew member. So I really just want to continue working on my skills, and I think the things that I really enjoyed on the flotilla were perhaps slightly different than some of the other folks, which just serves as a reminder that you really need an entire crew. And I think everybody's position on the ship is extremely important and valuable. Yeah. For example, I really enjoyed the provisioning aspect and cooking food, and
I do remember that. Was very grateful for it. Yeah. We'll get to some of those aspects later on in the convo, but that's good. That's good. Thank you. So now I'm stoked to hear that. Jacob, do you wanna kick it?
That's hard to follow. Hi, I'm Jacob. I come from Seattle, USA.
The all Americans here, David.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blair, get here.
It's so like growing up in Seattle, I've always kind of like been around sailboats, but never on a sailboat. And so I had moved down to San Francisco, again, all around sailing, but never in sailing. And so I then moved to Switzerland, where there is no sailing except for on the lakes here. So Meredith essentially got me into sailing through you guys, and that's been awesome, right? So it's such a great experience.
Oh, especially our first trip, the Sunsail Climb, being a rock climbing sailing trip. See the video, but yeah, amazing.
Totally, yeah. Especially because it's like climbing was a thing that I'm pretty good at, and I actually really enjoy doing. And this was like an excuse to kind of get into sailing, and get into places where you normally wouldn't get to without a boat.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. I mean, it makes the whole aspect of sailing a function as well as an enjoyable thing, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Totally.
Well, it's something you can also do your entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Brilliant. All right. Well, Thank you again for that. So I'm just going to get my screens down there. So look, what I'd love you guys to discuss, so that I can generally just stop talking and sit here and drink Red Bull, is, and I mean, I just want to, you guys throw in and just go for it. Actually, we've got one question here from Anna, who's prompting us. She says, so can I ask expectations? What did everyone want to achieve before coming on the flotilla in one sentence? She likes to wrap things up quickly. So I've got to read it again. What did everyone want to achieve before coming on the flotilla in one sentence? Michael?
The opportunity to learn more.
Nice. David?
To have fun whilst learning.
Meredith?
I really wanted to continue working on gaining new skills.
Nice. Jakob?
Yeah, I'll have to parrot that. Mostly gaining confidence in things that I would be very intimidated by otherwise.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think Karen might be on the phone, so I'll leave that one off for her. Brilliant. Okay, so what we were looking at is, like, as far as the learning, and I'll split us into four, and we'll throw this down as a just an open thing. How was the pace and the content, the maneuvers, like, what was the most benefit to you guys, or was it time with me, or so just like I'm gonna throw you all into a mosh, and you can just go for it. And I'll leave Karen out for now because she looks a little bit busy. So fire away, anyone. What did I say there? Yeah, like, how was the pace and the content and the maneuvers, and what was the most benefit to you guys?
I'll jump in. The manoeuvres was good. We rafted up a couple of times, so very difficult to do when you're sailing on your own. So good having that experience in terms of aligning the boats, bringing them together. In terms of the pace, I mean, we were driven by the wind in a lot of cases, and we didn't have a huge amount, which made it quite leisurely, but it was good, and we got to see some good places.
Fair enough. I'm going to keep uncomfortable silence going just until people throw themselves into the mix.
I would say at times it was I was forgetting that I was there to learn at times while also on vacation. So it was kind of back and forth, like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying myself, and oh yeah, I want to learn something. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Oh yeah, I need to learn this thing. So I suffer from, squirrel syndrome, where something bright and shiny and beautiful crosses your path and you tend to follow that. That happens all the time when I sail. So it was hard to stay focused for me at times. Croatia is so beautiful. And the size and magnitude of the boats, there's so much more to pay attention to than on smaller craft that I regularly work with and race. So that I found actually very engaging for me. As a longtime chess player, sailing offers the same kind of wonder that chess does for me. Just so many variables and moving parts. I actually loved pace of going place to place as frequently as we did, because sailing really offers a lot of challenges and a lot of different maneuvers that people don't readily think about when you look at a lot of these sailing channels. You see people go from point A to point B with relatively the same moves, anchoring same kind of wind or same kind of condition from the same kind of bay or similar style docking. Rarely do you see the types of challenges that I feel like you were making a specific point to put us in. For example, was it and pardon me if I ruin the name, but in Klut, when we did the backing up to the fender or the moorage buoy and through the rope, like, I had never seen anything like that. I've heard of it, but I never seen it on a video or in person. And getting to do that with David was like an incredibly valuable skill. And then thinking about how you might do that in rough wind, solo or as a couple, that was like incredibly valuable to me. So I thought you made it really enriching and provided a great amount of opportunity to learn a plethora of information that could help us in any given time, in any given condition.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And David, if people haven't seen it, I haven't got a button to push for a video for that one. I was working on it, but didn't get there. That's the picking up a mooring over the stern, either single-handed or as a crew. And actually, David starred in that video, and that's on YouTube. I'll ask one of the team to throw it into the comments for you. But that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Please add the rider. That was the first time I ever attempted it as well.
Absolutely. Did you see the comments?
Oh no, that was. Oh yeah, it was that set of comments. Yeah, you got to publish those comments. They were awesome. They were so constructive and helpful as ashtray on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah. No, actually, the one I got was on you coming alongside the fuel dock just recently. Was it was hilarious. He was like, not wearing any sun protection, no gloves, shirt off, only one line prepared. I was just shoes.
Yeah.
All right. Meredith and Jacob, like you guys coming from like you guys haven't skippered yourselves before. How did the maneuvers and things land with you guys?
For me, it was excellent. I think I would have never tried some of the things that I did unless you were there coaching me. Just knowing that you would never put us in a situation that was unsafe, and that even though I felt like, oh my gosh, my skill levels might not match up, you're there coaching us really every single step of the way, and that for me gave me a lot of confidence in the end.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
would love to parrot that. This is like one of the things, mostly because it's like sailing is an incredibly intimidating sport, especially when you're sailing with the size of boats that you are in the flotilla, or the size of boats that you at least prefer. Like trying to stern to in a very tight marina or a windy type marina is incredibly. Well, it's incredibly difficult, but it's so much easier when you're right there and at any moment you're willing to step in. So instead of essentially turning in this very intimidating maneuver into a very
confidence building.
Yeah, confidence building experience.
Okay.
Well, also, the pace of the flotilla was awesome. I mean, you can plan and plan and plan, but then really you're kind of at the mercy of the weather and the conditions on the water. And I think we experienced quite a diverse week, and that's really great for learning as well. I quite enjoy the, for lack of a better word, like crummy weather days, because you're in a situation that you don't plan for and you end up learning a lot more. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, to sort of brush over the sort of weather we had, actually I won't. Michael, how would you describe the weather, like generally? Like what sort of conditions did we get throughout October, throughout the flotilla?
Sailing wise, it was blissful. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful.
You would say that no matter what we did.
So I sailed in the Pacific Northwest, which isn't known for its fine weather and calm seas. So I just thought it was lovely. Blue weather, blue sky, blue water, lovely breeze. The opening day we left dock at Cristela, I think we had 20, 25, David. And that was a bit sporty, which was also still very engaging. And it's like it was like shaking the crinkles out and getting ready for it. So it felt very nice. I wouldn't say there was a crummy day for me at all.
Yeah, fair. I think we did have it was a good 20 knots at least, because I remember we sailed, because you guys came from Karlstella, we came from Throgir, and we got a good bit of pace rolling down into Sholta that night.
Yeah,
which is lucky really, because you'd been very late otherwise.
What held us up that day? I can't remember. Probably me.
Yeah,
you
got there first. Yeah.
You did get there first, didn't you? No, you did get there first.
One of the things, and Meredith was saying, doing things, and Jacob as well, in terms of the size of the boat. And I think it actually comes out in the video. When you were handing me that can of Red Bull, we are both under full sail, and we were about a metre apart. 55-foot boat and a 45-foot boat.
Yes.
And doing that kind of stuff, and Meredith was helming and doing an extremely good job, and Mike was helming, Mara Leonard, again doing a great job, and we were just nicely saying, messing around, and they were getting on with it.
Yeah,
Which I think is that kind of learning and building confidence that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and might be
for
frowned
sure.
upon. People might say we didn't have gloves on or didn't have shirts on doing it.
Yeah, so I'm running that clip at the moment just over what you're talking about. So tell us about, they had, because you talked about close quarters sailing, so tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so it was literally, I think in the morning you'd ask how it started and whether we had any eggs. And when we did it, or was it something the day before? And said, but we never actually ended up giving you any eggs. And then during the day when we were actually sailing and we were catching you up, and that's when we got into luffing each other. But I asked whether you wanted an egg, so I actually threw you an egg at sort of distance, which fair dues you caught.
We did
but then
get that.
Red Bull. So I was like,
So I'm not sure if you can see it, but the video's right there, right now, showing everyone about the Red Bull. You're just waving me in a bit closer.
Yeah. Well, I can see it, but of course there's the time delay on it. But essentially is, as we sort of threw the egg, and then it was a case of the Red Bull, and you were saying, well, come and get it. So that's where we sort of said, okay, come on, just closer and closer, and I say Meredith was keeping a steady course.
Yeah.
And we're going closer and closer. We were literally a metre apart, enough just to stretch out and hand the can over.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Really cool.
I'll play the applause when you get it. But yeah, I mean that was, and I remember you saying, hey, that was really, really cool, because it's something that I've done a lot, and there it is. with racing and different stuff, but getting people into that position. And if you can tell from the video, like often there's an instructor doing this with someone standing right by the helm. Meredith was on the helm on her own. I was handing the Red Bull can. I obviously wasn't at the helm. So and we were sailing. Yeah, we were sailing Mila Felice, the Hansa 548, which is not anything to be it's a big boat. It's a big boat, Meredith, and you did really, really well to, follow the instructions when I said, keep it there. And Michael then just using his sailing knowledge and a very calm hand to just keep bringing the boat up closer. And it's, I've always found that sailing in context of something is a whole lot more fun than just crossing an ocean.
For sure. That made me feel so empowered. And
one
of the highlights of the trip for me.
Brilliant. No, I love that. And I think that's what a lot of it is, messing around and just having fun with that. Okay, so we talked about that that time, and in that question I sort of said, hey, what was of most benefit for you? And out of the time with me, and I did not want to ask this question, but it's on my list from the humans that I answer to. What benefit did you get out of the time with me? Because I'm not on the boat with you guys all the time. We might change that in the future where I zip around boats. But I come onto each boat in the evening and we'd have a chat and a debrief. So what was the most benefit out of that time? I mean, Meredith and Jacob, you are on my boat, so that's...
So for me, I would say you were there at pretty much every time we needed help. And it was great because I could ask you questions whenever I needed help. And it was just nice to have you there.
Fair enough. All right.
List any questions.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm super impressed with, Nick, is you have this ability to always be on and answer questions with our endless, because we have an endless supply, right? Us being newbies to the sport, we're just like, hey Nick, what about this? What about this scenario? Oh, but how about this? What else? We turn it this way, and you're like, oh, this and that, and then you're good to go. And it's never tiring. And you're also able to stay focused about everything else that's going on, and you're like, oh, did you see that buoy that you're about to hit? You should probably move. So I think that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I want to get off the subject as fast as possible. That's good. And for context for everyone, so the way the Flotilla works is you can either charter a yacht, and this is what it was originally designed for, charter a yacht from one of the fleet, and it could be your first charter or just getting confidence up, and you come along, or you can bring your own yacht, which is what David did, or there is sometimes, depending on availability, there's a spot to have to actually join our yacht. So with me or with Mahina and me or Blair and me, and be a crew member on our yacht, which is what Meredith and Jacob did for this trip. So there's sort of, we built it around having something for everyone is the idea. So cool. And so, okay, for Karen, Michael, David, so obviously in the evenings I'd come along and we'd debrief was obviously with, anyway, we'd have to say that. I'd come along and debrief's a good word, on the boat. And yeah, if you want to talk about that a little bit. If there's anything to say, if there's not, just say pass.
One of my biggest goals was not looking like an idiot in front of my girlfriend. I think that was very important to me. Yeah, sure, babe. I can handle the boat at that size, and then go out there and muck it up. That would have been embarrassing. And I'm glad to say I didn't do that. David was very kosher in how he allowed us to operate with him. He's a great team member. We got to work the boat well. For me, I don't get a lot of time on larger boats, so whenever I have that opportunity, it's really confidence building. I've been in the military for a while, so I've driven FLAs, Humvees, tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles. I drive my truck. I get an SUV, riding lawnmowers, right? Think about all the things you're ever at the helm at.
You drive stuff.
Yeah. But everything you do is like, it adds one level to you. And when it comes to sailing, especially as a helmsman, it's time on the water, time on the water, time on the water. You have to be there to do it. You have to operate it. You have to get hands-on regularly. And every time for me personally that I get a chance to do that, it really builds my confidence, not just in my skills and what I want to succeed at within the art and sport of sailing, but how I can help others and show others to do it through my career. So I'm really appreciative of that, to you and to David and to Karen and the rest of your crew, because I had a blast.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Very good. David, as a skipper, what was your sort of, that was from my understanding of it, that was a larger point of why you were there, obviously, to keep picking my brain. You've had me on the boat before.
Well, yes, and therefore he's picking up on those. And I know a couple of times, actually, I think it was when we're departing Starry Grad, you were like yelling for Miller Felice, what we do differently? And I was like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Because we needed to talk about it later. I just damn well knew what I'd done wrong. But that's part of it. Is just that sort of, being the conscience on my shoulder, saying, yeah, you didn't do that right, rather than me just glossing over it because, Mike maybe didn't know what we should have done, so therefore, he couldn't point it out. So that was, and also, in our also way, we snapped the outhaul on my boat, which was fun. With Mike, and we recovered that. But then getting, that repaired when we were on his was good. And just doing stuff like that, because certainly when you've got your own boat, it's not just about sailing. There's so much else to it, which is also really helpful. But probably the biggest thing, which was on the last night when we did the night sail, the night passage back.
Okay.
And the planning and the thought process behind that and what you put into it, I thought was just, a good process to go through. And, that was the first night passage I've done as skipper on my boat. So therefore it was an interesting process and a learning one.
Surprisingly enough, we came across more vessels than I've ever had on that passage.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. So, and you start to realize, where the challenges are and where the risks are, and then we had a fabulous morning just as we were sort of heading towards Split with the sun rising and beautiful weather. So but that was a great thing that, again, you might avoid, if you're doing, just, chartering on your own, or might not even be allowed to sail at night. But
this
sometimes
true,
you have to. And it's better to do it in a controlled way than by accident.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and that's part of the whole not having an itinerary, a fixed itinerary. And what we came across on that day was a very, very calm Friday. Friday. And having such a good time chilling out at that spot. And everyone was just in this state of bliss. And it was like, I don't want to break this up.
I think you asked us and we told you we're not breaking it up.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it went, yeah. So, Now I've got so what I'd love to hear. That's awesome. What I'd love to hear is favorite parts for people. So what were the favorite parts of the week?
Meredith, thank you. I think you had one.
Oh, yes. One of my most favorite parts was the night sail,
Okay.
and I wanted to loop back to my previous thought in the beginning. I really enjoyed the navigation component. I really enjoyed working with the charts. I don't know that everybody enjoyed that, but I did.
It's what we have tablets for.
Yeah, fair
And I
enough.
feel like I gained a lot of valuable insight that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise, because I'm not able to sail on my own, for sure not at night. And so that itself was just worth the entire trip to me. So I really
Excellent.
appreciate it.
Excellent. The navigation. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Karen, what was your favorite part? Now that since I've got you for a moment where you're here, thank you for ducking in
Sorry
between
about
work for
that.
this. No, it's fine.
In and out, in and out. The whole experience just kind of blew my mind. The only time that I've really had on a sailboat is on a lake in Oregon, and it's only been for a couple hours. I've never experienced being out on the ocean, and it just, wow, the whole thing was just mind blowing. I was so impressed with everybody that went on the trip. Lots of fun personalities, lots of skills being shown, and I really appreciated like they said about you, Nick, you were always on and available, and you had a nice way of just putting everybody at ease and making it just a very enjoyable experience, regardless of why you were there.
That's very humbling to hear. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I was looking for one of the shots, but I just ran out of time beforehand that I wanted to put up. But I remember the first morning because we stayed on shelter and we all swam that morning. And you swimming out the back of the boat, and I had the drone and I did a big flyaway. But that was just like you just looked so happy, just chilling at the back of the boat in the water there.
It is definitely one of my happy moments when I think of the things in my life that I've done and had gotten the opportunity to experience. This is like one of the highlights. And I'll tell you what, I didn't honestly think I would ever get in that water and swim just because I get kind of nervous in open water.
Okay.
But once I put my toe in, I didn't want to get out of it. It was just so beautiful.
Oh, excellent. No, it was really cool singing that and having you guys enjoy it like that. So really cool. Other favorite moments?
I really enjoyed the private island that we hung out at the end. At least it felt private because we're all there. With all the effort and learning that goes into sailing, it can oftentimes feel like a lot of work and sometimes stressful because it's new. It's good to take a moment and relax and enjoy the reward that sailing offers, the ability to have the skills to get to that point in time where we could all just hang out, go swimming, go snorkeling, supping, walking around the island for a bit, just relaxing in each other's company. I always love the opportunity to enjoy the reward after steep learning. It's like a sip of rum after a dangerous yacht race. You're just like, whew, still alive. Cheers, everyone. And while we didn't have that exact experience, just getting to anchor up together in your flotilla was a great reflection on look at all we did in a short amount of time to get here and just be together in this moment. So that was really rewarding for me.
I like that, and I think that's a huge part of it. Is sailing is not just about sailing. It's about that. It's about that time, that reward. Like I've always said, I love the sailing aspect, but I could park in that particular spot for a week and not move. I love it there. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Anyone else on favorite moments there?
One of my favorite moments on the entire flotilla is when I don't remember where we were heading out to, but we ended up in an impromptu race with another boat that was not on the flotilla, and it was like head to head, and we kept inching up. They kind of gained on us, and then like we came up from behind, and we managed to take them. I believe on their port side.
Yep.
Like on their upwind side.
Yes.
Right.
Windward side. Yep.
And that was really cool. It was like, it's funny, right? Because you're not going that fast. It's maybe like 7 to 12 knots. I know it's a range
12,
there.
12 is the very upper end of that. But I think that day we were doing 5 to 7. Yep.
And we were cruising, like, it was just like, oh my God. And we're white knuckling it. And it's like at these speeds, but it's this big a boat, right? And you're just like, all right, don't crash into anybody. And at the end of the day, I think we had a lot of fun and they had a lot of fun from the other boat as well. Right. And there was a bit of camaraderie going back and forth.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like we have the saying: if there's 2 boats on the water, it's a race. Whether it's for fun or for not, but yeah, that was neat to be able to just jump in there. And all of a sudden, we're lining up with this boat and to teach you guys the maneuvers and what's involved in what we call rolling another boat, or be able to take them, overtake them to windward like that. So it was a really cool opportunity. And we sort of watching the other boat way down there, David and Michael and Karen, like, oh, that's right, we're going this way for now.
I was just going to say, my favourite part was when we actually beat you in the race to Greers, and you had this horrible excuse you'd race some other boat, which was just completely non-plausible.
No, I think we still won, didn't we? We were going to the caves. We were going to the sub caves.
No, we were going to the submarine tube, and then we decided that it was too windy in there to actually do the maneuvers.
We were looking for a particular maneuver, and it wasn't suitable when we got there. So.
I think we'd hoped too, waiting for you to join us, actually.
Oh yeah, and that's when we overtook them, Jacob.
Yeah. To the destination.
The other memorable moment, and I know it's one of Karen's favourites as well, was when we had the discussion, or rather you and Michael had the discussion over dinner about the racing rules and luffing up.
Oh, geez.
That was good fun, actually. Yeah, they all left us, Michael. It was too much for them.
Not everyone can handle pizza and wine, so.
And we were those two. All right, cool. So I mean, that sort of brings me to that. Like, how was the social aspect for you guys of the trip? Was it too much? Was it too little? How did it go?
What was it 4 bottles of gin, bottle of whiskey?
Not just the first night.
He's not counting what we drank, I'm sure. So yeah, it's okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very good. I'll just remind anyone that's watching at the moment, if you do have any questions for these guys, or you want to ask, or throw some comments out, please put them in now. That's great. We'll probably start wrapping up soon, but throw those in, or say hi if you've just joined us. No, that's really cool. There was one spot. I prepared a couple of videos for this one that I want to just throw up. So let's see who recognizes this spot. Where is it? First of all, David, you talked about going up the mast with me earlier on.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Did you enjoy that?
Well, it was good. I can remember because I needed to replace the tri-light bulb, and I knew that when I was in dock, and one of my neighbours offered to help me up, and I sort of politely declined on the basis of one I could trust at the end of the halyard hauling me up. So yeah, but I mean, it's an experience. Certainly, when you own your own yacht, you've got to go to the top of the mast. We were moored up, so there wasn't too much risk to it, so it was good. Just going there, working out what's at the top of the mast, and managing that. So that was great.
Yeah, I mean, even just from the point of view of getting the lines right as you go up. Sorry, you go.
Oh, sorry. And I was just saying, this time around I got the climbing gear, so I could do it solo.
Aha! All right, I will demand to see that.
Yeah. And then of course, the next step is how do you do it when you're actually underway?
Solo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with you don't.
This is where you see Nick gets worried. He's going, no, not on my watch. This is getting too risky now.
Oh, man found at top of mast after 250 miles at sea.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Well, I was thinking, I can take the remote control for the autopilot.
Oh gosh, no, I'm not even going to have that conversation. It just sounds far too much like something I would do.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had that conversation before as well. But no, I will do it solo in dock, and we'll go from there. That's the first step.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Really cool. So, well, look, and if we could do anything differently for the next one, what would that be? If we could say, hey, look, I wanted more of this, less of this, or what any suggestions we could do differently for this one coming up?
Make it 2 weeks longer.
Make it 2 weeks. Fair enough. Okay, 2-week flotilla. We'll have to see how many people I can handle for 2 weeks.
I would say maybe include some disaster or emergency relief skills. So I just did this last week at my Safety at Sea seminar, which was through the U.S. Sailing Your Safety at Sea Foundation, which was pretty good. It was similar to the RYA one that I had done 7 years ago, and that one was, that sucked. They dumped us in San Francisco Bay because it was so darn cold. But what it brought was the distinct reality of what sailing on the West Coast would feel like in an emergency situation, all the skills necessary to do so. So what if the wind pipes up and your sail gets stuck, maneuverability in and around islands, especially in Croatia, because there's so many of them. What would you do in water? How would you work together or communicate together as crew? That stuff I feel helps build confidence as well, because while you're operating the emergency, oh no, this just happened. What do we do? Do you, and that communication that goes into that, and then the processes that start.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I did, yeah. We did certainly consider the idea of doing man overboards or something like this. It's a tough thing to coordinate, because some are going to pick them up faster. And I toyed with the idea of bringing everyone onto our boat to do a couple, but yeah, it's I'll have a think about that some more, and I might even create some videos around it to make it a little bit more digestible as well. So that's a good point. All right, and Anna actually just commented on here. She said how many boats would be ultimate. So so like when we had 3 on this one. I've got 4 or 5 showing up for this one, which I've considered my max. I don't want more than 5 boats on the Sharpen Up flotillas, because I want that time. What do you guys reckon? What would be the ultimate number?
I personally liked the low numbers because it made it much more intimate, and I got to know each individual person, and it just felt a lot more comfortable for me. But then again, I'm an introvert, so I could see an extrovert being like, we need 10 boats out there. But that's just my personal.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like the low numbers too. Less is better.
I agree with you. I quite enjoyed the low numbers.
Yeah.
I feel like you get a lot more coaching time as well.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole idea behind it. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I
think
myself.
Oh, let's go, David first.
So I was going to say, I think 5, maybe 6 being the right number. Back to the coaching, which is that then works out roughly a day, with each boat, with each crew, rather than any more than that, then you're having to jump between boats, or maybe not spending the time with the boat for whatever reason.
Yeah, like the whole idea of being able to go and do a full, hour or more or whatever it is, depending how deep the bottle of gin is, debrief at the end of the day with a boat is good, instead of someone getting me after 3 bottles of gin. What was your one, Michael?
I was going to say, having been a coach myself for a while, I would 4, no more than 5. Yeah. I mean, hopping from boat to boat, teaching a team or a couple, a specific series of skills, and spending a portion of your day with each crew. I mean, that really is taxing. Much more than that, you might want to hire a mate to assist.
Yeah, no, fair enough. All right, cool. Cool.
I feel like on one of the nights we did see Wood having more than 4 or 5 minutes cause to a particular area, and it's kind of a disaster. So,
But
That was my lack of sleep night. Yeah.
yeah.
That would never happen with you, though.
Oh gosh. What was that, Karen?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I must have seen the wrong. I just see the nodding and things like that. Yeah, that was.
No,
that
I'm
was an
just
interesting
agreeing.
one.
That was quite the fiasco going on that night when that flotilla came in. I think, what did they have? They like had 10, 15 boats with them.
Yeah, 10
It
or
was
12, I think.
it was
yeah.
a boisterous night. I wouldn't want to be in that big of a group.
Yeah, especially, and we got 20 knots come through in the night, which was the whole reason we'd gone to that anchorage and on the leeward side of the island. And it looks like they'd done the same, except we had 5 boats drag anchor and 1 lost their anchor.
Allegedly, yes.
Oh god.
And nearly their dinghy and 2 crew as well.
That's right. The
Yeah.
dinghy floating off into towards Italy. Oh gosh, great. So
That
yes,
wasn't us.
So actually, things to improve. Can we not cross paths with them again, please?
that okay. Yeah, that would be a good one actually.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the great thing about having less boats is you can get into smaller and more intimate places. So
I actually thought, sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
I
go.
actually thought that like we weren't necessarily part of that fiasco. David, I feel like that might have been very useful as a boat owner to be like, because you're going to be approached with those types of scenarios, and you have Nick as a backup to be like, Nick, what the fuck is going on? Do I help?
What?
Do we abstain rather?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have that because I remember when it was all happening, I think Mike, you alerted me to it first with this one boat. I think it's the one who lost their anchor, circling my boat, asking could we raft up. And this is what, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and telling them to go back to their own flotilla.
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean,
apply
they had plenty of boats to raft up to. They didn't need to come and join to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was yeah, I mean, the worst part about it was I was watching that boat float away, and I was getting very ready to have to lift my own anchor and go rescue them. But that was what we were monitoring so that we could.
Yeah, I know, that's the conversation we had, which is, should we?
yeah, and we were on the radio, weren't we, and on the phone talking about it. So, yeah, no, it was a very good lesson in what can go wrong, and why we pick our anchorages, why we set our anchors well, and all that. So the whole anchoring thing for that night was great, actually. So, yeah, very good. Hey, well, look, we're coming up. We've just gone an hour. Thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing. We haven't had a whole lot of questions, so we'll probably just cut off. Is there anything else you guys want to? I mean, effectively, I was going to say, I think, would you do another one of these flotillas? But I think you've all said that, and or signed up for one.
I would do it in a heartbeat. I wish that I could be doing it every few months if I could afford to and make it work with my lifestyle. But it was just an amazing experience. Wonderful people, beautiful scenery, amazing food, fun little towns. It was amazing.
Oh, brilliant. What was your favorite location, Karen, if you can pick one?
I honestly can't remember the name of the island. That's horrible because the language, the words were just a little hard for me to even pronounce. But the island that we bought the olive oil on, I really liked that one. And there
Very
was
good.
also, yes, that
Who's
one.
Starry
I really
Ground?
enjoyed that one.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
really
yeah.
liked Starry Crab. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Zapod Zub, friends of ours. I actually just saw them on fire last week. So yeah, that was Stardigard's a great place. A really cool spot. Oh, nice. Yeah, and we just got a question on there, which I think David's actually already expertly asked. Erilto said, do you drive your anchor in reverse? I often see crews just toss it over and give chain, but never 2000 RPM reverse. Very good question. And David, thank you very much for answering that. Yes, drive the anchor in with at least 2000 RPM. And I mean, there's always a caveat to things like that. Like if you're staying for lunch, and it's a calm day, drop your anchor, you might reverse on it a little bit, but there's no need to dig up the seabed with 2000 RPM if you're going to be there for 45 minutes or 2 hours in calm weather. Whereas when you're going to be there overnight, for sure, you want to get that chain down, get it on the seabed and dig it in so that you know that when that flotilla comes in next to you and they're all dragging anchor, yours is not going to, because you dug it in properly and checked it before you went to sleep. So that's a huge one. So Meredith, Jacob, flotilla, would you do it again?
100%.
Absolutely. When are we doing this again?
October,
Same
I think.
group? Yeah.
Well, I've got a spot on my boat in
We haven't
October.
signed up for May.
Well, they haven't booked in for May. They haven't booked in for May. I think they're busy.
Only 6 weeks. You said you've still got spaces.
I've still got a cabin, 13 to 20 May. I don't know. I've got one place on the boat that someone can take from 13 to 20 May on a Hansa 508 with Mahin and I. So,
What's that famous line? Shut up and take my money.
Brilliant. I love it. All right, I'm going to play before we take off. I'm going to play one more clip that I've got here. Let's see if this works. Now, did it mute everyone? I think it does. No, it didn't mute everyone. So this was where was this? Who can tell me where this was?
The delay's too long.
Oh yeah, the delay's too long. I can see it. I'm gonna wait for the delay. I'm gonna wait. Surely it's coming in by now.
Yeah, now it's here.
I'm watching. I'm waiting.
Depends on your connection, I guess. So where was that, Jacob?
Oh God, I remember taking it too, and I don't remember where. It's after we came. That was the day we sailed from the island in the background.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of that island was. Is that Broch that we're next to? No?
No, but it does start with B. It's Bicheval.
Bicheval.
Yeah.
Bicheval. So so if we're there, then David will be able to tell you where we are, surely.
And that
also
was the
where the little cove, isn't it? And as we sailed down the coastline, there were those little tunnels drilled into the caves.
Yes, there were some down that coastline for sure. Gavin 152, he's got it. He knows. He's been there. There we go. South side of Vis. That was when we sailed down towards Steneva Bay, and when we picked up a mooring in Steneva Bay and did another come alongside maneuver with the two of us in Steneva Bay, which was cool. And I think you guys took the dinghy in and went for a walk on the little beach with the cliff curtains. That was super cool. So what I wanted to share, and I shouldn't tell everyone about this. No, don't worry, it's not that one. I wouldn't share that. This is Bicheval. So this is a spot on Bicheval, which I won't tell you where it is, because if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you can ask. Drive around and have a look. But this day was where we went into the cave on Bicheval, and we just milled around. It's very deep there, so we can't anchor. And I really liked this. And David says next year he's got to go back in. So maybe we'll get Blair to look after your boat this time, David, so that you can go into the cave.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, and in there, where's my? Oh, I don't have cave button here. I'll see if I can play it. But this shot that I'm showing now is actually of the cave. It's with 4 of you on the dinghy rowing out of the cave. Just to give that cave a bit of size and context, it is massive. But this was a really cool exercise in, getting on and off the tender in deep water, and then, the tender going in and tender management. And so you can drive a tender around in circles easy enough, but to actually to manage it and control it through rocks and gaps is a different thing. So yeah, it's
weren't they saying they have concerts, a cappella concerts in there? I think we got to singing in there a little bit on our dinghy run, just to hear the acoustics of the cave itself, which was epic.
It's a massive cavern, isn't it? Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay, well, maybe we're going to have to do that. We'll have to do a singing competition, a cappella competition inside the cave this season. Gavin said, do you just drift there? Is it calm enough? On the right day, yeah. It's you can't go there if you've got a south swell, and it's a bit of a volatile spot, but It's really good there. So Meredith's just telling me in the chat there she's got to go. So thank you so much for joining us, hon, and we're gonna sign off in a minute anyway. As it always goes, people start throwing comments down as soon as everyone needs to go. But thank you so much, and we'll see you. All right. Who we just had is there is a U-boat cave as well. There is actually I'll put that out to the group and to everyone listening and watching. There is a lot of U-boat caves, submarine caves or things. So how many do you know of? How many do you know of, David?
5, I think.
5. All right, Michael's been to 1. Which one have you been to, Michael?
Oh, it's just the one that David and Karen and I glimpsed.
Yeah.
And it looks like 1, maybe 2 boats, and we kind of went up to it and then turned back around to head back in because I think we were just sailing up that channel.
Yeah, that's
there.
the only one I know of too.
Yeah, so that was
a fun
on
experience and to learn about it.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool to see that point of history, though.
Yeah,
but there's another one on the north side of V's as well, isn't there? That we would have sailed past.
Okay. So there's one on V's.
Is it just the one there on where we were going to do stern to stern? Okay.
Yeah. So and someone can correct me for sure. I'd love that. But as far as I'm aware, there's only one on V's. So where's some of the others that you've gone to, David?
Lastovo.
Lastovo, brilliant. How many on Lastovo?
So there's 2 there.
Yeah, 2 on Lastovo. All right.
And then I think where the 4th is.
I found a new one actually just recently that I didn't even know about. So there's another one on Brach, south side of Brach, and then there's another one on the south side of Brach, and then there's another one on the south side of Brach. So in the space of about 5 bays on the south side of Brach, there is 3 U-boat caves. And I'm just saying the Lastovo one is the best. It's pretty cool. The two on Lastovo. So Gavin's only there we go. Gavin says I only know of the one on Viz. So there we go. So we've just named 2 on Lastovo, 3 on the south side of Brach, 1 on Viz. I just recently sailed to Nelm down past Plotje to export a boat, and I found another one which is just further along from Plotje, down by the border to Bosnia and Herzegovina. There is also one that we call, I think they call it Hitler's Eyes, on the entrance to Šibenik, which is actually a full U circle, which is pretty impressive. You can walk through it. It's a very, very cool spot. And then there's at least 2 more north after that. So yeah, there's a lot of U-boat caves, which is really cool. Okay, I think I'm going to call it. I've got to go out for my 9-year wedding anniversary dinner tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to with the family. And I've tied you guys up for well long enough right now. And thank you to everyone who's watching. I hope you got something out of this. Congratulations from Meredith. Thank you, Meredith Jacob. Oh, hang on. I've got this. I need a clicker.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So yes, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. It's time out of your day, and I'm really looking forward to our Flotilla 13 to 20 May, which we've got David on as well. So really looking forward to seeing David put a lot of this solo sailing skills into action, and I'm gonna watch it. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again, hopefully on another trip.
Likewise.
Yeah,
See you
thanks.
again.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any parting words? I don't really know how to sign this one off because I'm usually just on my own here.
I think it's awesome to see all your faces again. And I love reminiscing through this trip because in my memory, it's just awesome. But being able to sit down and talk about it, it's so fun to remember all the things we did and saw. And it was just the hikes and the cities and the scenery and the food and the cave and the beaches. It was just, I really enjoyed this. It was a nice reminder of just how excellent it was.
Brilliant. All right, cool. Okay, guys.
There's great motivation.
Excellent.
Great motivation to move forward in the lifestyle that I want to or choose to have.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, and it is. It's a lifestyle, and it's something we really all work towards being able to enjoy. And when you've got the skills to enjoy it, it's a lot better. So that's what we want to give for. I'm looking forward to the day that Meredith and Jacob come down here and they're like, right, we're taking our own boat in the flotilla. And I'll be like, yeah, you are.
Nick, every single time that we have a trip with you, we're like looking online. All right, what about this boat, Nick? What does this boat? Could we do this boat? And
70-foot catches with concrete holes and stuff. It's like, no.
Yes, you can. Get it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Look, when you point out that Amel 50, I'll be like, yes, you can. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I will catch you around shortly, and definitely going to start getting some 45D swag out to you guys, because that was really awesome. So thank you so much. See you later. I'm gonna cut you all off now.
And happy birthday, Michael, and congratulations on your
Happy
anniversary.
birthday and happy anniversary.
Thanks, guys. All right. See you later.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was it. That was our 45 degree sailing flotilla recap. If you have more questions about this, please put them into the comments on the video if this is a replay or whatever it is. And if you want to get in touch with us for either this coming flotilla, which is the 13 to 20 of May, there is one place for a charter boat left on a Hansa 388 called Calypso. All the owner boat spots are full, and there is one place available on my boat, our boat, Mahina and I's boat, on the Hansa 508, if you want to join that as well. So get in touch with us here at 45 Degree Sailing, and tell me if you want to be a part of all that. And actually the October dates, which is now October 13 to 20, I believe, check that on the website, are also filling up. So there's, again, the Hansa 388 is available for that, but the Bavaria 51's gone, the 508's gone, the 460's gone, and we'll be taking the Hansa 548. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to run the end clip, and if you have anything you want to get in touch with us about, just follow the website, and we'll see you on the next live stream.